Is one of the few things in life that can create intense pleasure or intense pain in our lives, and it is the one force that has the power to put you on top of the clouds or in a deep dark hole. And no matter how much experience we gain in love, it seems like we're still trying to figure it out as we go. So then why do we feel this way? Why do we act as though love is blind, and that our partner does not have any perceivable shortcomings? That is what we want to find out in the discussion today, right here on Your World. And remember, the question that we're asking you is, what is the craziest thing that you have ever done in the name of love? Once again, what is the craziest thing that you have done that is in the name of love? Feel free to interact with us at NTV Kenya at Lubembe_Winnie. Remember to use the hashtag YourWorld and just share your experience with us. That is, what is that one thing or two or three, for those people who are like, but I love him so much, or but I love her so much. Okay, what is that thing that you've done, or the craziest thing that you consider that you did in the name of love? We look forward to hear your stories. I've seen some pretty hilarious, and will be sampling your feedback during the show. But if you want to call in and share your experience as well, feel free to do so. And the numbers are down on your screen, and just share your experience with us on what exactly you did, which you consider craziest in the name of love. But of course, we'll also have an amazing panel today. Two who will be sharing their story, even as we just get to understand really what is this thing called love, and how far can we go as far as doing the things for the people that we love. And to help us with the discussion, we have Beatrice Watara Gidiji, who is a media personality. Thank you very much, Beatrice, for making time for us this morning. We also have Bishop James G. Minor, who is here with us as well to just give us perspective as far as this thing called love is concerned. So thank you very much for coming by today. And we also have Rose Kemuto, who is a finance analyst and a content creator. And I'm sure maybe you have seen her story. Maybe not. Thank you very much, Rose, as well, for coming by today. Just share your story with us as well. As far as what exactly happened to you, was it out of love? Was it not? We'll figure it out as we continue. But Bishop, let me just start with you. Just understanding this whole concept of love and the magic of falling in love, because it's a very beautiful feeling to fall in love and to love someone and to be loved in return, right? So can you just help us understand this magic surrounding love and how we get ourselves to fall in love with people? What usually happens to our brains and to our heads and to our hearts? Let's just understand that concept.
Thank you very much. One of the things I would really love to say is that we need to define love. Okay. Because what most people think is love is not. But from my perspective, I look at love like love is kind, love is patient, love does not keep a record of wrongs, love is not self-seeking. So in other words, love to you, it's a kind of attributes that are built in you, that are strong in you. It's not a feeling. Most people think love is a feeling.
It's not?
It's not a feeling.
Okay.
Yeah, feelings.
But why do we then have like this two feelings? And sometimes we just don't understand what exactly they are.
Feelings come and go. Okay. Yeah, even when somebody gets married, feelings come and go. But love is deeper. It's a deeper foundation than that. And that's why most people are duped, because they think it's love, but it wasn't love. Okay. Yeah.
So then what does love look like? Like, paint that picture for us. I know you've said, love is giving, love is forgiving, love is selfless, love is this. Yeah. But then how do you know, in terms of feelings? Because like you said, it's not a feeling, Yeah. So then how do you know?
How do you know whether you're in love?
Yes.
Because, and I was talking to a very good friend of mine a couple of months ago about love and, preparing them about getting married. And I told them, first of all, you have to build yourself. And you have to know, what am I going for? Okay. Because most of the time, we enter into love because you want to fill a deficit that is within you. And that's a wrong thing. Okay. Yeah. Actually, the best people to enter into love, they're not people who are actually looking for receiving love, but giving love. Okay. Because it's in giving that we receive.
All right. But what if you do not receive? Like, what if it's not reciprocated? I think most of the time thing is, for us, once we fall in love and we give love, we expect it back.
Okay, let me explain that statement again.
Yeah.
You see, it's all about wholeness. Because love, from my perspective, it's talking about a girl who's whole. She's not looking for somebody to preserve her life, loneliness cure, you know what I mean? Because most people think, if I can only get a man, my loneliness is over. Okay. But a man can fill the space in your house, but they can never fill the hole in your heart.
True. True.
You see?
True. True. Okay. I see it.
You see it now?
Yes.
Yeah, so, and that's why most people get it wrong. Because the reason why you entered into 8, what takes you in must be sustained throughout the whole process. Okay. And that's why I usually tell people when I counsel them, I tell them the best person to actually marry, the best person to enter into love, or even, I don't like using the word falling in love, because most of the time people who fall in love fall out. Because it's a decision. Yeah. And it's a conscious decision that you're making in broad daylight. I mean, you are secure, you know it. It's just like going and buying a property. You do your due diligence. Okay. But anytime, most people enter into 8 with an aspect, man, I don't want to lose this guy. Oh, man, this is my only one chance. My friend, let me tell you, you're going to get duped. Okay. And you're going to be very hurt. So, in a nutshell, I would say the best person to marry, the best person is a person who is complete. I'm not looking for somebody to fulfill me. I love me. I take me out. I enjoy my company. Okay. So those are the people who are coming to give. And in that giving, you receive. You also receive. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So Rose, do you have a different perspective?
I wish I had spoken to him a bit earlier.
Would have saved you a lot.
You would have saved me a lot.
Yeah. Oh.
But I think, just reiterating to what he's just said, you think, like you said, we don't fall in love, but we all think we are falling in love.
Yes.
We fall in love. Yeah. We are looking for that person to come and compliment us. Yeah. But at the same time, when you, let me just call it falling in love. Yeah. When we fall in love, even that person complimenting you, that person who's bringing that, you're already 100%. I believe I'm already 100%. Yeah. So you're also bringing your 100%, and then we're building this thing together. Yeah. But even that person, when you have fallen in love, all those things go out of the window.
That's true.
All those things, you don't pay attention to those things anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
At the start, at the beginning, you already have this idea that I'm not looking for somebody to just come and give me the love and provide this thing that I'm missing in my life. Yeah. But once you fall in love, all those things you forget about. Oh, yeah. You completely forget about.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes. Oh, yeah. And we've seen a lot of people who you would think they're solid themselves, right? Yeah. They've got everything going on for themselves. If it's the finances, they have the finances in order. Like, they seem okay and everything is going on well for them. And then they fall in love. Eh? Yeah. Now I have to be cautious. I'm like, okay, fall in love, not fall in love. Yeah. But when they fall in love, it's like they totally become somebody else. Yes. And you look at this person and think, but I thought you were solid, on your own. What happened? Yeah. Okay, so Rosa, you learned a tough lesson.
I did.
Whew. It's a lot. I mean, I'm just looking at you right now and thinking 1.8 million?
Yes.
Gone? Yes. Just like that?
Just like that.
Let's go back. Where did you meet this guy? Who was this guy? When did you guys meet? I have so many questions.
You have so many questions? I'm here to answer them. Yeah. So I think like most relationships, it's only that we are always afraid to admit to it. Okay. We met on social media. So we met through Facebook. The guy was in my DMs, writing me.
Sliding into the DM. Okay.
Yes. So once in a while, he'd pop up, say, hi, how are you? Just like that, we started chatting back and forth. I think we went for a period of like almost 4 months, just chatting, until we decided we need to meet face to face. Let's just meet. So the guy at the time was not residing in Nairobi. So he told me, I can come and visit you. I can come and, but I do not have a home in Nairobi. Okay. So I agreed.
I can host you.
Yeah, I've known you. You think you've known the person. I've known you for like 4 months. So yes, you're allowed, just come and say hi. So the guy came, we met, got to know each other. I remember he came over a weekend. We got to know each other. But from the first weekend, that's when I started seeing the cracks. But like you mentioned earlier, you see the cracks. You think you're a very solid person, and you can already recognize these are red flag.
Things,
yes. Yeah, these are red flag. But at the end of the day, you still swipe it aside. Yeah.
Okay. So while you were talking, I'm still back here for DM. So 4 months, right?
Yes.
Getting to know each other.
Yes.
Sharing probably your dreams and your aspirations and all those things. Did you notice anything off during this period where you were just chatting in your DM, or it was nothing at all?
I noticed, maybe the only thing I can say I noticed was that he was a professional. From what he had studied and what he was practicing, he was a professional. But then he had chosen to just do some other type of business and put the profession aside. And it was a really good profession. So that's the only thing that I noticed at that time. I was questioning, like, why would you make such a decision? And I did query about that decision. And there was an explanation to that decision. The explanation was, this business that I'm in is really lucrative. So I'd prefer to do this business. Yes.
Okay. All right. And again, in this day and age where it's like you do this, but then again, life somehow takes you to a different path, and you're just like, oh, well, it's all good. Okay, then. Let's hold on to that and come back to Beatrice as well. So, Beatrice, you have also had your own share of being swindled and taken into like an emotional roller coaster as well, being duped to an amount of 150,000 shillings in this day and age. What happened?
Well, how he actually came to interact with this person, right after high school, nilikuwa mtu wa kirere kuchangamka sana, going after these opportunities.
Yes.
So I luckily got a job at a media house in KU. So basically, when you get to the limelight, it's easy for people to feel like, we can easily take advantage of her. So I think this is someone who was really strategizing, because they did not come with the love offer at the beginning. It started with a job offer.
Wow.
And then
started as a business.
Yes. Okay. And it was targeted during Madaraka Day. So it's like this guy was really waiting.
Man.
Yeah. And he came via email.
Okay.
So
he went like a step.
Yeah. It wasn't the DMs or the Facebook messages or anything like that. It started with an email. And not an email from him. Basically, it was from him, but just a fake account using someone else's name. And then they'll be like, so Jay has referred me to you, but he's the same person writing that. So I was supposed to be hosting a show in Eldoret called Madaraka Special. So that's just how it started. I had to go all the way to Eldoret.
Yeah, take me through that journey. I mean, and then this person, there's some things right? But this is like Madaraka, as in things that you can easily verify to see if it's true or not. But like you said, he was a professional, went through the evil way, right?
Yeah.
So in a span of how long, from the onset of email and hi, would like you to host Madaraka Special in Eldoret, to you actually traveling all the way to Eldoret?
Yeah.
How long was that?
It was almost immediately. You see, I'm a go-getter. So when I see an opportunity, I'm like, I'm running towards it. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was like, let's say Madaraka Special was in about 2 days. So I was told that I was supposed to go there. And then they used the line of, you will be paid upon arrival. Yeah. So you're more inclined to believe it. You're more inclined to feel like, okay, let me just go and see how it goes. And plus, I just got into TV. So I'm excited about all these opportunities coming through. And that's when I now went there. So it was in a span of 2 days, I was already on my way to Eldoret.
Okay.
Yes.
So did he cater for your transportation? Because we all know how this usually happens. Like someone approaches you, be like, hey, we want you to host this, we'll cater for this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
Or it was just come to Eldoret and then you being excited, the opportunity, you grab it as you go, right?
Yeah, so what happened, I think having a good heart sometimes can really mess you up.
Tell me about it.
Yeah,
Yes.
but anyway, what happened is that, so this guy was using fake people, a lady called Christabel. So this lady was apparently the sister to the guy. So on the day that we now got maybe to have a conversation on WhatsApp, he said that, you know what, my sister is going through a really hard time and she has lost the boyfriend. The boyfriend died. So I'm already feeling, remorseful, and I'm sad, and I'm like, oh my God, that's so bad. And then he's like, can you talk to her and maybe comfort her? So the reason as to why he couldn't cater for my transport was because he was taking care of the sister, and apparently he said that he had given the sister about 100,000 because she needed to travel for the burial arrangements. Yeah. So he was like, I'm going to refund to you the money. You just come. Yeah. But at this time he was posing as if he was in Nairobi, but the whole time he was in Eldoret pretending to be in Nairobi.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Bishop, listening to just this two
this wonderful
at
sister.
the start
yeah.
of what was meant to be a wonderful relationship, work relationship, which again turned into started dating, you know. Yeah. What do you pick from this?
First of all, my sister, just remind me her name, I'm sorry.
Rose.
Rose. My sister Rose, I would like you to look at the 1.8 million as tuition fees.
For who exactly? For herself?
I mean, it's a learning experience. Life will learn.
Okay, can it be like at least 10,000? Even still 10,000 is still a lot.
Let me lose 10K.
Yes.
It's a learning experience.
No, it's lost. So rename it.
True.
It's already lost. So rename it. Just say I've learned.
Okay.
And I've learned the hard way. So you'll be in a better place in the future, because all of us learn.
Okay.
And sometimes it's not good to run through experience. Unfortunate. But when such kind of things happen to me, what I do is I say, okay, first of all, you don't blame the person. You blame yourself because you didn't, you are not wired up enough. You did not know. It's actually a place of ignorance, because actually every one of us, and I'm not here to make you guys feel bad or anything. I'm here to encourage you. The thing is this: God has wired us with a conscience. And that's something you feel within you, a red flag. And what happens is, when the deal is too good, you ignore the red flag that is within you. And it's a kind of a butterfly feeling within your stomach. You're like, yeah,
there's just something that I can't pick.
There's something in this thing. Yeah.
Okay.
And what happens is you ignore it. So when you ignore that, that's when you get into trouble. So, and I would say, like, for example, in my years right now, from my 20s, 30s, 40s, and all that kind of thing, how I thought about relationship in my 20s and my 30s and now, it's a very, very different story, because I've been on the learning curve. And that's why I would say even to my sisters, congratulations.
Have you been swindled before? Okay, have you been swindled, or in your experience, right?
Of course, I've entered businesses or kind of things that I lost money.
Okay.
So, yeah.
With the people that you were in a relationship with?
No.
Okay,
not
different people.
People I'm in a relationship with, but maybe in business where you see a good business opportunity, somebody comes and sells a good business. And let me say something. One time somebody introduced me to a business. Yeah. Actually a church member. And I really thought about that business, and I say, I feel something.
Okay.
This thing is not good. But as they continue to talk, I was buying into it. Okay. So when I was driving home, I was like, okay, let me enter into this thing. Okay. But I decided to call a friend of mine, right, a bishop friend of mine, who I refer to as a mentor. And that's why you need to make these decisions as corporate decisions. You need to tell somebody, I'm moving into this. What do you think?
What do you think?
Because, because they don't have your feelings. Okay. They are not infatuated like you are. Yes. You need somebody who is outside the situation.
But you see, at that time, first of all, you just think, because of these people, when you're around you, them they don't understand.
No,
you're the one who's falling in love.
That's where the problem is. When I was driving home that day, and I remember I was driving from Thika to Nairobi, I called this friend of mine. And this guy told me, please, don't
Okay.
I'm like, man, what do you mean I don't?
Yeah.
This is such a good deal. The man told me, don't. And do you know what saved me? I said, I cannot go against this counsel of this man because I regard him highly.
Okay.
And you know what? That kind of a thing closed in a week's time.
I think love is just so different because you think, oh, well, you know, sometimes how they say just take risks and just get to know this person and maybe they'll turn out to be really, really good people. Give people chances and then they turn out to, you should never have given them chances in the first place. But
can I say something?
Yeah.
Even in my dating days, there's one of my greatest friends who I regarded as a mentor also. We mentored each other.
Yeah.
Anytime we saw a girl, he'd say, hey, man, what do you think?
Okay. So establish that
you need to trust
relationship
somebody,
where you can ask.
Yeah, who is neutral. Ask. Have somebody who is neutral. And this one time I took this girl to this guy and said, man, are you crazy? Are you okay? Are you out of your mind? Wake up. Smell the coffee. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, you know, and I go, you know. So don't make those decisions alone.
On your own.
Tell at least 1 or 2, 3 people you trust.
But the heart wants what the heart wants. Anyway, okay. So Rosa, 4 months in, the guy decides to come to Nairobi. Didn't see any major red flags during your whole process of chatting. But of course, when he came to Nairobi, you started noticing a few things, right?
Yes.
So he gets to Nairobi. You go out, right?
No, we didn't go out.
Okay.
He comes to my house.
Oh, yes, yeah. You said you would host him because you're such a good person.
I'm such a good person. Just come to my house. Let's not waste money. Yeah, just come to our house. I want to also talk about what you just said about telling someone, informing someone.
Yeah.
At that time, you're actually thinking, my friends, they're not wishing me well. I'm in love.
Yeah.
They don't have a partner. So
Yeah.
I found this perfect guy. Guys, be
Yes.
happy for me.
Yeah.
Like, as much as they're pointing out the red flags to you,
Yeah.
sometimes, like I said, you just swipe them to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just like, no,
Yeah.
I'm the one in this relationship.
Yeah.
You're outside this relationship. You don't understand.
You don't know.
Because I
you.
remember for me, I did talk to a friend.
Okay.
I did from the first amount of money that I lost to the guy. I did ask a friend to advise me basically, and they advised me to the negative. Don't do it. But I still
Rose
did
ni
it.
nani?
Nani.
Mapenzi. She has fallen in love.
I still
You're
did
spoiling,
it.
eh?
Right?
Yeah.
I still
With
Right.
a trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this came to Nairobi. You hosted him.
Yeah.
Did he leave? Did he continue to stay in your house? At what point did you get to that place where unampatia pesa and the first amount was like 500,000 shillings, and then you going to the bank, withdraw the cash, and then I'm still in shock. I'm just like,
I'm
what?
telling you.
Yeah.
I think love makes you do some things that you think you're a very sane person until it comes to your life. So the first weekend the guy came to my house, I hosted him the whole weekend. For the whole weekend I hosted him. We were vibing. I'd say he was good vibes. I thought he's a nice, godly man. He's a man of the church. Or so he said.
Yeah, they all
right
come that way.
or so he said. And of course, from our online chatting, I could see that, he's a man of God, kinda, man of God. So, but I remember the first weekend that I hosted him, that's the first weekend he mentioned about borrowing money from me. That's the first weekend he told me, there's this business I'm into.
Okay.
And I'm not able to finish doing this supply. Can you kindly just give me this amount so I can finish and get paid?
Okay.
And then I'll refund you the amount. So, of course, I'm a very solid person. I know you shouldn't lend your money to this guy's boyfriend.
I mean,
You're not
you
married.
just met
we've just
physically
met.
for the first time.
So I tell him, no, actually, I don't even have the money.
Yeah.
But I remember there's something you mentioned that before they even approach you, I think they have already strategized.
Yeah.
They've already done their research. So for this person, I think he was asking me from a point of knowing that I had the money somewhere or I could access the money.
Okay.
So that first weekend, yes, he requested for the amount. I told him I don't have the money. The weekend is over, so he goes back. At the time, he was in Bomet. That's where he was doing his business from. He's originally from Kisii, but he was doing his business in Bomet.
Okay.
So that he went back to his business place. We didn't, I think the whole week, he just kept chatting me about, how are you going to help me? He'd actually ask me, how are you going to help me? You know, I'm undergoing a lot of stress. And sometimes you're seated with someone, and then they're making these sounds of like, I don't know, women do that a lot. I hear that. And then you ask, what's the problem? They're
like with the long sigh, exasperated by something, so that someone asks you, what's wrong?
What's the problem? Yeah. So he was doing the same thing to me. So I'd ask, what's troubling you? And then with that, that's the time he asked for the money. And then the whole week now he kept insisting on, kindly just try and get this money for me. Under a lot of stress. There are a lot of people I owe money to. I owe money, and I need you guys to help me. I need you to help me so that I can be able to finish this tender. I get to pay all this.
How did that make you feel? Like this person insisting that, hey, I need help. Can you lend me? How are you going to help me? How did that sit with you?
I wasn't comfortable. I wasn't comfortable about it. But also, the dream he had sold to me, from all the chatting and him coming and us having a discussion, like the dream he had sold to me, like we were good. We were planning something. We were doing this for us. So you're basically in a relationship. You're trying to know each other, and what you're trying to build, you're building for the both of you.
Something solid.
Yes. So for me, with that dream, eventually, yes, I caved in eventually. But I did do a bit of my research. I did at a point, I think it took me like from the first day he asked me, from the first weekend, it took me another maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'm not exactly sure, but 2 weeks, 3 weeks. In these 2 weeks, 3 weeks, he had made a habit of coming over every weekend. Now, coming over every weekend, I remember there's a weekend he came over, and then I think after the first weekend, now we are trying to get to know each other. Let's spend time, quality time, and it's just spending in the house, just chilling. So I remember he was writing some checks in the house, telling me he's trying to pay some people. There's some money he's come into. He's trying to pay all these other debts. And just to clear off so that like his deals can go, because he had told me he wanted to clear so that he can pay the debts. Now, what I did, I come from the finance sector. So what I did, I just looked at his checkbook, copied an account number. I'm like, let me check this account. Somehow you check the account. That's after me asking him, did you deposit the checks? Yes. Have they cleared? The checks were amounting to 1.9, I can't remember. But it was in terms of more than $1 million. Now, I did query him and ask him, did the checks clear? He told me, yes, they cleared. So I did check the account. And checking the account, I realized no such amount has gone through that account. No such amount. The last transaction in that account was for around 67,000, and that was like a year ago.
Wow.
Yes. Yes. But having that information, still went ahead and gave him the money. I did.
And the way he got the money from you, it's somewhat like questionable, but again, Rose is in love. She's in love, so
I'm in love.
Right?
Yes.
So you did not transfer the money to his account.
No, I did not transfer the money to his account. At the time, I had that 500K in my account. So he told me, instead of you transferring this amount to my account, it's going to take a bit of time, and I need to finish this transaction ASAP. Let's do this. Let's go to town. You withdraw the amount, and then you hand it over to me so I can just deposit in cash, because that's instant. So we did that. We did exactly that. Came, withdrew the amount, 500,000. I didn't even count it. He's standing next to me. You've seen it's a 500K. Shika puts in his account. From there, I tell him, okay, so when are you going to pay? He tells me, we already... I forgot to mention that before I even gave him this money, what I did is also we went to a lawyer. We drafted it down that I'm giving you this amount, that you're going to be repaying me this amount every month.
Every month.
Yes.
So who's
So with
lawyer?
that-
Your lawyer or his lawyer?
At that time, I did have a lawyer. I did not have a lawyer, so we did go to his lawyer.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
All right, Bishop.
We went to his lawyer.
To his lawyer.
Yeah.
What are you picking from this in terms of the red flags and the fact that from the onset of chatting all the way to meeting to the first time you're meeting physically, this guy is asking you for money. Is that something that we should somewhat pick up?
A couple of things. Here.
Or a couple of things.
A couple of things. Here.
Okay.
Number one, be careful who you talk to, because everything begins with a conversation. Everything. You remember even the story of the Garden of Eden when Eve ate and Adam ate the fruit? Eve was talking to the wrong person, the serpent, and the whole thing came down.
Yeah.
Everything comes down with a conversation. So conversation, and then also number two, beware of who you give access to. Access. And I would like to tell ladies even who are listening to me, please don't bring somebody to your house.
Okay.
Don't. Yeah. I mean, and I should also say the same.
I'd say that.
Yeah, should
But
also
we've
say.
talked for 4 months. It's like I know
No,
him.
even before you get married, don't bring somebody to your house. Let them not come and stay in
Like
your house.
ever?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, let it happen after now. I mean, tumeenda rorasho, tumefanya nini, wedding, and all that kind of thing. So those are kind of things. Those are mistakes. You know, and I wrote a book called 7 Mistakes People Make in the Presence of Greatness, and the first mistake is money, borrowing money, you know, and when people borrow money from you from the onset in a relationship, that's a red flag because it tells something about them,
Okay.
you know. So access brings expectations. Now, when expectations and then when expectations are not met, it brings disappointments. And when disappointments comes in, you make enemies. So you have to be careful who you bring into your circle, who you bring into your inner circle. And then you should have different kind of circles, you know, like there's outer circles, you know, EV, and then inner circles. So 4 months to bring somebody to your very, very inner circle, that's in the name of love, then we need to redefine love.
Okay.
Because for me, that's not love.
Yeah.
And, you know, even God's word says, you know, that, you know, God is love. And the more time you spend with God, He makes you actually be secure because there's no fear in love. Most people are conned because of fear. The opposite of love is not hatred, it's fear.
It's fear.
It's
Okay.
fear. So most people are conned because you're fearing. You're
Yeah.
like, man, this is an opportunity I have,
Yeah.
and I don't want to lose it.
A man of God. Rosa just met a man of God.
Yeah,
And
in quotes, and you know, you're looking at the great future you might be with
Yes.
together, you know, and then just like I say, something, an emptiness in you that you're trying to fill in, a vacuum that is in you that you're trying to fill, and that can only be filled by God.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So and I think for Rosa, again, watching your story, you're like, he was different from the other men that you had dated
I had
before.
dated
You know, he
Yeah.
he looked like you said, or maybe not, a man of God. You
Yes.
know, somewhat changed you
Yes.
as well during this period that you were getting to know each other and even dated.
Yeah.
And hey, okay, here he comes. Yeah, not really a man of God, as you would say. But let's hold on to that. And then for Beatrice. So you travel all the way to Kericho, to Eldoret, right? And what did you find when you got to Eldoret?
I remember it was really late when I arrived.
Okay.
And so I saw him on the other side of the road.
All right.
I can almost see it.
Yeah.
And then I'm walking towards him, and he starts saying that the hotel rooms have not it's like people haven't left, so like there's just a lot of people, and we had to share one room together.
Okay.
So
Like, oh, okay.
and I was like, oh, thank goodness I'm in my jeans, so that's just how we're going to sleep.
Yeah.
So when I got there, and then I asked him, you say that I'm going to be paid upon arrival, but then he said that these people are not picking calls, so I kind of have to wait. But in the middle of the night, as you know, we are trying to now get to know each other, he was constantly picking calls, and it was calls that I think he had paid some people to pretend that they're giving him deals and more deals. So he'll pretend, oh, there's a deal for always. So yeah, the lady hata amefika, tunaweza mtumia, payment ni ngapi? So like I'm already getting excited because I'm like, so more deals are coming in. As I am waiting, I've not even performed this event that I'm supposed to be hosting, but another deal is already coming in. Yeah, and he's like, oh, so we're going to get the lady for the makeup, she'll be coming tomorrow. Oh, right. Okay, so it was a really, detailed conversation about how the deal is going to come through.
Yeah.
So I'm already feeling positive in my gut. I'm already telling my mom how excited I am, and they're my biggest supporters.
Yeah.
So it was even my mom who sent me the money to go to Eldoret at the time. Because I'm 19, like usually fresh out of high school, so and then I get employed, so a lot is just happening all at the same time.
Yeah.
So when we stayed at the hotel room, the first night he had actually paid for it, but for the next day I had to do that, and it's money I didn't even have, because I remember I had to take a loan so that I can pay for the hotel room, because he kept saying that, hey, I'm in a really bad state. And then he had a brother-in-law, a fake brother-in-law, who apparently was in prison, and it was a drug case. So that is why his accounts were frozen. So he couldn't access any money. So this whole time, I'm a nice person, just like Rose, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay. Don't you worry. I got this.
Yeah, so I found myself helping him and, coming through for him the
And
whole
you've not
time
even
we
been
were
given
there.
a down payment for the job that you're supposed to do.
And then I don't know if he had checked the weather, forecast or whatever, because it started raining on the day of the event, on Madaraka Day. So that is how the event got cancelled. So I'm like, oh, that's unfortunate. So they're not going to pay me. Then he's like, no, they will, but we have to wait. But meanwhile, there's this other deal, and we need to get going on it and see if we can get it as we wait for these other people to pay you. So it was crazy, because that was just not the only deal he talked about, the always one. The next day, Christabel, now the fake sister, tells me that tumepata ingine a singleton. So me and you, we're going to be brand ambassadors, something of the sort, and we're supposed to travel, was it Italy? Something of the sort. And then now, we are getting into all that excitement. This guy even took me round Eldoret looking for outfits that I would wear, like... I did that, like literally even trying to purchase some outfits, knowing that, these things are coming through for me. And then that day, he said that I needed to pay the down payment for the makeup lady. I even talked to her. I don't know where she was even coming from.
So who's paying, you or him?
Me.
You were paying for the down payment?
His account is frozen. So.
Oh, the brother.
And the money is coming back somehow after the deals, So it was just a roller coaster of all these things. Yeah. But I think one thing I came to learn now, because you've mentioned, all these things kind of just teach you lessons. I think the biggest thing that this guy used against me was greed. Because, when you're greedy, when you get into that situation, you're like, oh, the money upon arrival, I'm going to get it. Then I remember during that time when I was still traveling, they sent me another email saying that, they've asked if you can host the after party for 30,000. So you're just getting all these things
All these things are coming in.
And they're not even stopping. So I'm excited. I'm talking to my mom. My friends are happy for me. I talked to people. But this time, they were very happy for me. They're like, oh my God, like go for it, girl.
We're so happy that all this is happening. Can we just take a break to just digest all this? Because it's a lot. It's a lot. And then when we come back, I think Bishop will just want to understand, do they have a face? Like, do they have like characteristics that maybe we should probably know about? Because they seem so calculative. They actually know what they're supposed to do, and it's just too much, all right? So we'll also be looking at that in a moment. But keep tweeting at NTV Kenya at Limbebe_Winnie. The question is, what is the craziest thing you've done in the name of love? See you after the short break.
yeah. Wataka data, pata dabu we. Nyakuwa data, dabu ni mambo jambo we. Pata data,
Nyakuwa data dabo. Dial star 544 hash, chagua Nyakuwa bonus, alafu chagua join Nyakuwa bonus. Tumia data zaidi kupata data zaidi. Safaricom, mwelekeo ni internet.
Dhima ya uongozi ni kubwa mno.
Ni ule ambao nasema upuzi wa kisiasa.
Si gavana wangu, nilisema niliibiwa kura.
Kuna wale wanaoibeba barabara.
Nani angefikiri kwamba Uhuru wangeungana na Ruto?
Kuna watu huko mabroka huko nje makateli.
Lakini kuna wale ambao mzigo kwa hakika unawalemea kabisa.
Hii ni mtu wa mtatu. Kenya waulize maswali mengine.
Kila siku ya Jumatatu jioni tunawaweka kigodani viongozi wako.
Hapo tuko tofauti. Hapo tuko tofauti. Jipe kati ya alama 10.
Swali hili ni swali la utata sana.
Watu wanaanguka kwa sababu ya maswali.
Na mwisho wa kuisha basi, lengo na shabaha ni kuhakikisha tunashajiisha uwazi na uwajibikaji katika safu zote za uongozi humu nchini.
Standing in the tunnel at Emirates Stadium waiting to be introduced, Jack Wilshere may have been looking into the future. At 17, Wilshere and others saw a bright future, a long career at Arsenal with England caps to come. Which is how it largely played out. 10 years at Arsenal and 34 England caps. Except injuries carved chunks out of Wilshere's career. Now 30 and unwanted by a major club. All the news and analysis of European football on The Football Review.
In the house that night when I came to see her.
Yeah, but you left her. You guys need to stop.
She's my woman.
Calm down, Bob. Look, she agreed to be a couple.
It's lunchtime. Just go. Just go. It's okay.
What is wrong with you? Why did you do that? Why are you even here?
I should be asking you that.
Get peace of mind and protect the ones you love with the power of Dettol Bar Soap. It cleans and protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs. So no matter what type of mum you are, trust Dettol.
Ili tuendeleze maisha bora kwa ajili ya wapendao, nchi yetu na usoni wetu. Kwa ajili yetu sisi sote. Pata chanjo. Kaa chonjo. Kuhakikisha nchi yetu na uchumi wetu umestawi katika uwazi. Tusirudi nyuma.
All right, welcome back. I'm glad you're still with us. The show is Your World, and today it's all about love and how blind can it be, okay? And we just want to understand the dynamics again. I'm pretty sure all of us just watched this documentary on Kenyan Swindlers, and apparently it's not only like a global problem, something just that happens in the Western world, all right? Many of the people in the country have also found themselves in a position where they have been swindled in the name of love. And today we have two amazing ladies who are sharing their experience as far as being swindled. Of course, we have Beatrice Watare-Gidinji, who's a media personality, as well as Rose Kemunto, who is a finance analyst, as well as a content creator. And Rose is a finance analyst, but she got swindled. So that tells you no one is safe. No one is safe. And we also have Bishop James Maida, who's just helping us understand the whole concept of love and, and also how you can actually identify some of these red flags. But Bishop, before we talk about how do these people look like, right?
Yeah.
Because it seems like they're very smart, they're very calculative, they know how to convince you to get to that point where you will give them everything, because they've told you all the sweet nothings that you want to hear, right? Yeah. So is there like a specific group of people, like psychopaths, who do all those things? But before that, let's take a look at some of the feedback that we have. As far as the question of the day is concerned, and what we're asking you is, what is the craziest thing that you have done in the name of love? Once again, what is the craziest thing that you have done in the name of love? Let's hear what you have to say. Keep tweeting again at NTV Kenya. And this person says, I did that in my high school. Oh gosh, I can't even see these things. I did that in my high school, and I think it says the ladies sneaked 2 dormitories, kukiwa strike, and kukiwa na strike, and risked my life for her. Ati nataka kumwokoa na bado aliniacha. This is Prince Caleb. All right, thank you for that. And then someone else says, this is Michelle Ogechi, who says, visiting him at his town where he works, only to learn that he has moved on with a kid and a wife. Thank you very much for that. And then someone else says, this is Oira Godfrey Ombachi, who says, I worked for a job for free for 3 months to get the love of my life. What happened? Did you get them or not? And then Magda Odera says, I bought him a phone using my school fees. Wow, okay. And then someone else says, this is Carolina Ofi, who says, shameful things that I can't even say. Yani, they are really embarrassing. Wacha ninyamaze tu. Please share. We want to hear what you did. As far as, doing things for the person that you love. But again, Bishop James, in terms of then, so what do these people look like? Right? Can we put a face to it? Like, can we tell? It's just too much.
Yeah, it's possible to tell because, number one, you begin to watch the inconsistencies that in the conversation. And when somebody opens their mouth, when somebody opens their mouth, you can learn a lot about them. I just need to listen to somebody.
All right.
From the word go, and you begin to read the in-betweens. And also there's a feeling, as I say, there's a feeling that in your stomach when that person is talking to you. Because there's a battle between your mind and your heart. Your mind is saying, go for it. Your heart is saying, please, don't dare. Yeah. So I know even for you, when you're going to Eldoret, there are all these things that are happening in you. You're like, oh, it's a tug of war. But what I would really say is that these guys come in all different types. So con men are many. But if you look even at the bank, and you come from the finance sector, I think banks don't study counterfeit because counterfeits are counterfeits. They study the original so well, so that when the counterfeit comes, you are so sure that this is
you can
fake.
Easily pick it.
Yeah. So because they vary. So in other words, what I would really say is, for everyone listening to us, just build yourself so well. Build your self-confidence. Be secure, be whole, be complete, such that by the time when somebody is coming to sell this thing to you, be like, no, I don't even need it. I'm good.
But even like the most solid people, like for instance, let's just talk about these 2 ladies. Okay, I know Beatrice's excitement and my first job, and then all these gigs are coming in. Again, she was pretty young, so of course it's very easy to get swayed into all this because you're thinking, hey, my career is like taking off, very fast. But again, Rose, being in the like the financial sector, she's solid. She has her money going. She's just okay, right? But then this guy comes and she's like, you know what? I've actually never dated a man who has a relationship with God. So this is good for me. You know, this is a person who's coming to bring change into my life, you know, from the life that I used to know to now having this life and build something that is solid, you know?
Yeah.
Again, I think anyone can fall into this into this trap.
You see, there's also something that is also happening in our society.
Yeah.
We take so much time to build career, to build a future in terms of school and all the other kind of thing, but we don't take time to build ourselves. And even most people who are coming to church, they want to get married. They are not fully developed, so they come, they want like 5 months of counseling. You've taken 20 years to study for a career, and you want to go into marriage by counseling for only 4 months to prepare you for a lifetime marriage that you live for the rest of your life, or you're supposed to, and you prepared for your career for 20 years, and then you come for 4 months of counseling. You see, there's a problem there. So, and I remember when I was single, I started studying books. I started reading about marriage. I started reading about relationship and all these other things. You go to meetings. You have to go to meetings where you can go to seminars, go to church, and join a group of people, become a part of a family that think the same. And I've seen people change because I mentor so many young people, and I see people who are kind of out of control, and the more they sit under that kind of mentorship, it's like a calibration begins to happen within them. So when you're all alone, you just jump from one mistake to another. But when we are in a group, like when you are sit under a trainer, you sit under a mentor, you join a fellowship and become a part of a team, it'll be so hard because what you are doing, it's actually you're strengthening your knower within you. That part of your conscience becomes strong, such that even by the time these guys come to talk to you, you're like, hey, I don't even want to talk to you, because by that time you are so amped, you are so ready. So it also depends on when a person comes. A person can come when maybe you have gone through a hard time, or when you're in the valley. And I usually tell people, never make a permanent decision in the valley, because you might change them when you get on the mountain. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So, Rose, here, 500,000 shillings,
Yeah.
Born. Went to his lawyer, drafted, an agreement, and this is how much you'll be paying me, blah, blah. Give him the cash, right?
Yes.
How did he behave after you gave him the cash? Did he maybe go back to Bomet? Did he stay for a while? Did you notice any change? Or was he like the best person now that he got whatever he wanted?
Actually, he was normal. He continued acting the same way he's been. He'd come over almost every weekend. So we continued the relationship like nothing had happened. Did you pay? Yes. Did you supply the poles? Yes, I've been able to supply. But then with that came story after story of the money was not enough. I wasn't able to complete that tender.
Okay.
The money, so with that, it became strenuous, but it was over a period of months. So you'd go for maybe a month or 2 months, and the story will come up again. I really need to finish this tender. Whatever other business, because at the same time he was also doing timber. He had a timber yard in Bomet. So with that, he'd still say like, even the timber business is not bringing in as much money, and I still need to finish this.
Yeah.
So with that, yes, that's how the other amounts got lost to him. But with every amount that I lost to him, the one thing that for me I felt at that time, I felt like I was being safe or being cautious about was, can you kindly go to the lawyer and just make sure it's in the agreement that you're going to repay me this amount once you're paid. So with that, I thought, it's legal.
You're safe.
Yeah, I'm safe. It's legal. But
was this person even like a lawyer in the first place?
Was he?
Was he like a lawyer?
Yes,
a real lawyer? Oh, he was.
I did go to his office, and I'm pretty convinced he's a lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm convinced he's a lawyer, but I know he's a lawyer who has ties to him. Yes.
Okay, so it's like this, they have like a side business
Yes.
that they do together.
They have
you
a
bring in the
relationship.
clients, we'll
Yes.
get the money, and then you get your cut. Everybody
Yes.
goes their way.
Yes.
Okay, so the second time you gave him the money, so at what point is your relationship? Are you talking marriage? Are you talking about like the future, discussing finances? At what point was this relationship? Because I remember from your video you talked about looking for houses to move in together. He would show you.
We were actually planning like a destination wedding, so you can imagine we were talking marriage. We were talking kids. We were actually visiting hospital. Let's get checked. Let's just know that both of us are okay. Like with all those small details, actually you think this relationship, if a guy is willing to go to the hospital with me, let's get checked and plan for having
The
kids.
future, yes.
For the future, and also we are planning for this wedding. I want to have my wedding in Egypt, so that's where we are having.
You were going to go to Egypt.
We were going to Egypt.
And the pyramids.
I remember.
Right? And
I
you're paying for
remember-
it.
Yes, I remember my niece was staying with me at the time.
Yeah.
And then she could hear this conversation.
Yeah.
So nowadays she makes jokes and tells me, Auntie, ile harusi yetu ya Egypt,
what happened?
how did it go? So I'm
Are
like,
you still going to Egypt?
maybe by myself. Yeah. So
So it was a serious thing. You were
It-
talking
it
about
was.
marriage.
Yes.
And you also talked about the fact that he would actually go house hunting and
Yes.
take videos and send
so
them to
many
you.
times. So many times
Yeah.
he'd go, because now the amount we were expecting from the payout from the tender was quite a huge amount. So with that, we knew if we were doing, I think basically you'd come to the house and find us with books and stuff, doing calculations all the time. So this is what we have to pay for. So we'll have this amount left. I was even so like, what kind of car do you like? I'm like, I like a Jeep. I can get a Jeep. So like, okay, I'll buy you a Jeep.
Okay.
So I remember with it was a lot. It was a lot, but I remember he was also going house hunting.
Yeah.
So most of the time you'd find I'm in the office seated. He'd be like, we spoke about this. I go to this particular area. We go look for a house to buy, not rent, just a house to buy. So he'd go from room to room with a video, videoing me and telling me, do you like this house? Do you like this environment? It's a 3-bedroom, it's a 4-bedroom. I'm like, no, let's look at another one.
Yeah.
So he'd do that a lot of times.
Okay.
Yes.
And then
he'd
he
do
also
that.
told you that he has a house in Hurlingham.
That one, I actually laugh at myself for actually believing that lie, because that was a straight up lie. Or also, I think, I don't know for fact if it was true or not, but what he told me, he had 2 homes in Hurlingham. One, he had lost it through another relationship, his previous relationship. But the one that he currently has, this particular day we decide, let's go to church. We are Seventh-day Adventists. Let's go to church. So we come to church. After church, we're like, can you go and show me the home today? We are free. We are not doing anything. So he tells me, yeah, we can go. So we get to Hurlingham. We get to this nice big house. He's like, so this is the house, but we cannot enter because I've rented it out, and the person is a foreigner. They're out of the country.
Okay.
So we can't trespass. But I just wanted to make sure that at least it's this one.
is my house.
This is my house.
So
I believed it.
You never got to the compound?
No,
you never...
nothing. I actually believed him.
Oh,
I
wow.
think about that particular point. At that time, now I question my sanity at that time. Like, how could you even believe this?
Yes.
Yeah, how could you believe such a lie? Because
Yeah.
anybody else looking in can tell you that's a lie.
Yeah.
Or maybe the first thing you can even do is call the security guy and
Yes,
then
and
tell them,
ask
this
these
is my
questions.
house, how are things here?
Yes.
Is the tenant okay? Or stuff like that.
Yeah.
We didn't do any of that.
Okay, he's
Yes.
like, this is my house, the tenant is not in,
Yes.
and he's a foreigner, so
Yes.
trespassing is a big
Trespassing,
thing.
no, we
it's a
can't.
big thing. Okay, so Bishop,
Yeah.
again, listening to Rose,
Yeah.
in terms of this person, it's like they tell you what you want to hear to just earn your trust.
Yeah.
So And for people who are watching us and thinking, maybe I would have fallen for that, literally taking you to someone else's house, or maybe it's his house, we don't know. And telling you this is my house, and these are the things that we need to do, we can move in together, and all those things. And especially when people start talking about marriage and children and future, it's very easy for you to somewhat trust them, right? Yeah. So how soon is too soon to start talking about marriage and all those things that we should actually be cautious about?
I think when she was talking, I was thinking about foundations. In this case, we are looking at a house that is being built with no foundation. So we are talking about tiles, we are talking about the colors, the paintings of the house, but there's no foundation. And that's what most people do. And that's why we make big mistakes, because you want to build this magnificent, beautiful house, and then foundation is zero. Yeah. So I think even the time, the 4 months of knowing somebody, and then also this thing, guys, of just meeting people on Facebook, that's also another.
It's a red flag in its own.
It's a red flag on itself.
But there are some people who have established solid relationships.
That's okay. That's okay. But I think you need to dig deeper on Facebook or social media. You need to dig deeper. Because if you met somebody probably at work, or you've been working with them, or maybe in a church setup or in another place, first of all, there's a kind of people who know them. Excuse me, people who know them. So what happens is, if you just meet people on social media, they already hide so many things
about themselves.
Yeah, about themselves, and they want to tell you what you want to know. So wanakupanga na tulisikia mtu anasema sipangwingwi. So the thing is, most of all these people, they look at you, they search you on Facebook, they really know what kind of a person you are. They already know you are single and all that kind of thing. So by the time they are meeting you, ni kukupanga. And then what they do is they look at maybe what you might be needing. And maybe you're looking for love, you're single, and maybe you're waiting for this Prince Charming to come in and just sweep you off your feet.
Yes.
So those are kind of the problems we have. And that time you meet somebody, I think there's need to be a lot of due diligence.
Okay, and of course in this day and age where, again, there's internet and stuff. But again, like we said, whatever people put out there as far as social media or even just on Google or anywhere else, you might not trust 100%.
It's true.
But then again, I think there's just a characteristic with these people where they, again, if they can go as far as researching you, understanding who you are, where do you work, how much money do you have, and what exactly do you need, so that they come in and fulfill that need. Then I think it's easy for them to just put out whatever it is, so that once you see it and once you do your due diligence and search them, you will actually see what you want to see. That convinces you that, what, this is actually a good part, for instance, a man of God.
Yes.
Because they will come in and maybe fulfill that need. But like you said, again, work on yourself, be whole, so that when this person comes, it's not like they face you, you'll be like, hey, Tudanda Lawrence.
Actually, I usually have a statement like, whoever has nothing to lose has everything to gain. So you should never enter into, like for her case, it's like she doesn't want to lose that money.
Yeah.
This is a great opportunity. And sometimes you are like, I'm okay. Whether this job goes through or it doesn't go through, first of all, there are parameters that have to be correct for this.
Okay.
Number one, you're not going to call me for a job and I pay for myself. Number two, we are not going to go to Eldoret and we share the room, those kind of things. So if you, most people get into that problem because I don't want to lose it. I don't want to lose him. You see, whoever doesn't, and I realized that even sometimes when I was doing a lot of traveling around the world, and I would have engagement, and sometimes I would do bookings because I don't want to lose it. And what happens is, you find yourself, you are really messed up because you don't want to lose it. And I came up with a statement. I said, whoever has nothing to lose has everything to gain. Sometimes you just need to say no. Send me an email. Let's check it out. And that way, even people realize, oh, I'm not dealing with a person who is, you know,
like easily gullible.
Yeah,
you can just tell them
gullible,
and
too desperate.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So Beatrice, the event never happened.
Yeah.
You've spent a lot of money paying for the hotel, down payment for the makeup artist that never came. You know, so then how did you find yourself back to Nairobi? And again, during how long did you stay in Eldoret, first of all?
I think it was about 4 days. Yeah, it was about 4 days.
Okay.
So while I was there, this guy tells me that for the Always advert, I need a certificate of good conduct. So I think that's the first time now he brought in the lies. After the makeup artist, then the certificate of good conduct. And he actually talked to someone on the phone, apparently a police officer who was his friend. So, and they're like, wait, after 8K, ni mtengeneze haraka, you know.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't even know what a certificate of good conduct at 19 is.
I know.
So I'm like, it must be a very big thing because, you know, it's needed for me to get like millions of money after this advert, after this deal that I'm going to be working on.
Yeah.
So he said that the guy is in Nairobi and that is where it is. So while we were there, he says that watu wa Singleton wamesema tutakuwa na meeting in Nairobi.
Okay.
So we go to Nairobi, and when we get there, Christabel, the fake sister, calls me and she's like, I can imagine nimeenda na key yake. Nimeenda na fungo yake ya nyumba.
Okay.
So now I have to host him at my place because again, ataenda wapi? Funguo zake zimeenda na dadake. So that is how we now came to
from Eldoret.
Yeah, to get to Nairobi. And it was not just the fake sister, even the fake mom.
Yeah.
And you know, I have a thing for mothers. So, so the mother texts me and then she's like, Aki, tuko huku hiyo kesi ya the brother-in-law. Si ukae tu na yeye kidogo siku 2-3 as we organize how tutarudisha funguo zake. So that is how now ikabidi nimekaa na yeye in the same house.
So during this period, I mean, do you at some point like just feel no, something is off because everything is moving too fast. All these deals are coming in too fast. You've not even finished the first one. And then all of a sudden there's all these other deals that are coming, and then the sister comes in, the mother comes in, the brother comes in.
Yeah.
Did you at some point feel, wait, you know? And then the mother, you've never met them, never met the sister, and they're asking you to stay with the brother in Nairobi. Like, did you have like these questions?
I actually did, so many times, by the way. I did have questions. And what I did was, you know, he told me that they've already deposited the down payment in my Equity bank account, you know, for these deals. It's like, it's already...
you gave them the account?
Yeah, my account details, my parents' account details. Because I was like, come on, watanilipa 3 million, 1 million itatumia dad, mom. So like, can they just deposit it directly? It was crazy. This guy had all these details, their ID numbers, their full names, mine as well. So nile tulipatana mpaka with a guy apparently from the bank, and he was taking these details. Apparently he was the guy supposed to, you know, oversee the depositing of the cash. So when we got to Nairobi, I told myself, because I'm wondering why is it these deals are not materializing.
Exactly.
I'm not understanding what's going on. So I decided to go to the bank and confirm if maybe there've been any transactions, just that maybe I can see them through my phone. So when I get there, it's like there's nothing. And then I'm calling him, and he's like, "Oh, let me confirm. Let me know what's up. What's the issue?" So around that time, this guy opened a fake Facebook account with the name Susan Joki, a lady's name.
Okay.
So Susan Joki was supposed to play the role of, you see, I had talked, had these conversations with my friend who was my roommate when I got to campus. So she was telling me that she's not feeling it. Yeah, I did talk to her, and she told me that I don't trust this guy. I feel like there's something wrong. And I was like, whether you're right, ebu wacha niendelee kuchunguza. Like, let me see, so I see how I'm going to get out of it. So this guy, he had gone through my phone. I didn't know when he did that, but somehow he was very sharp. And he went through my phone and kind of went through those conversations. So he had to do something for me to be in bad terms with this lady. So when he opened the fake Facebook account with Susan Joki as the name, this lady posed as a rival that he wanted to, date this guy that I'm with. And she's like, no, that's my man. And we have all this little drama going on. And then now she tells me that friend you call your roommate, your BFF, she stays at a certain place. She even knows all her details. And then you see there are those conversations that you've had with someone
friend,
like that, like really things that you can't even share. So this lady apparently knows so much about me, and then she's like, that bitch you call your friend is the one who told me all these things. So I get into this confrontation with my best friend, and I'm like, why did you tell on me?
This
Like,
person.
Is this why you're telling me not to go towards, you know, the deals because you're jealous? So it was really, really chaotic because this guy made sure that Susan
you were not in
Joki
good terms with
was my rival. And the worst part was that Susan Joki is the one who took over the deals from me. So he said that they connived, and that is how I lost this deal.
the deal. Okay, you know what? Let's take a break, because let's take a break. But of course, when we come back, you finally dated this guy.
Yeah.
And stayed with
Really?
this guy for a while. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Let's take a break. Keep tweeting at NTV Kenya at @Lumembe_Winnie. And the question that we're asking you today is, what is the craziest thing you've done in the name of love? We'll be sampling your feedback after this break. Stay with us.
Funga huo mdomo wako. Haya ya kuhusu yanamhusu.
Kila zuri lina kafara yake.
Ukiona wanaume wanaongea natakiwa ukae kimya.
Burgers for $6. Did you say 6? Fungua app. Your favorite moment.
Now your favorite ice cream. It's so good.
Order what you want to select what you want.
Order it now. Download the app, order a Glovo, and we get it.
At the first sign of pain, you need a solution that you can trust. Try Panadol Advance. With Panadol's Optizode formula, the tablet absorbs quickly and starts providing fast and effective pain relief you can trust. Try Panadol Advance.
International Women's Day is a global holiday celebrated annually on March 8th to commemorate the cultural, political, and socio-economic achievements of women. It is also a focal point in the women's rights movement, bringing attention to issues such as gender equality, reproductive rights, violence, and abuse against women. And this year, the International Women's Day 2022 campaign theme is Break the Bias. Imagine a gender-equal world, a world free of bias, stereotypes, and discrimination. A world that is diverse, equitable, and inclusive. A world where difference is valued and celebrated. Together, we can forge women's equality. Collectively, we can all break the bias. Individually, we're all responsible for our own thoughts and actions all day, every day. We can break the bias in our communities. We can break the bias in our workplaces. We can break the bias in our schools, colleges, and universities. Together, we can break the bias on and beyond. Join Nation Media Group as we engage on breaking the bias on the 8th March 2022.
The First Lady.
I cannot believe that woman came up with that proposal, and even less that my dad listened to her. What else did he say?
Stupidities. That's what he said the whole time. I don't understand why you don't see it.
Oh, that boy really did turn out to be a bum, just like his father was. All they want is the good life without doing any work. Haven't you understood that he has to go to his hometown? Why don't you take a hint and pack your bag so you can go with him? Do you think I'm that stupid, Mirta? I'm not budging from here until I get paid every last cent that we owed. Do you think Estrella is stupid?
Tuendeleze maisha bora kwa ajili ya wapendao, nchi yetu na usoni wetu. Kwa ajili yetu sisi sote. Pata chanjo. Kaa chonjo. Kuhakikisha nchi yetu na uchumi wetu umestawi katika uwazi. Tusirudi nyuma.
And welcome back. Glad to stay with us. The show is Your World. Very few minutes left to conclude the conversation of the day. And the question that we're asking you, it's all about what is the craziest thing that you have done in the name of love? Once again, what is the craziest thing that you have done in the name of love? Keep tweeting at NTV Kenya at Lubembe_Winnie. And of course, we'll be sampling your feedback as far as, just your experiences that is in the name of love. And how really, do you get to that point where love is actually blinding you, okay? And is this a thing that maybe it's an idea that we have? Or is it really true that sometimes, love can be blind, okay? So keep tweeting, excuse me, at NTV Kenya at Lubembe_Winnie, and we'll be sampling them in just a moment. But for now, there's still a lot that we need to cover, Rose and Beatrice's story, and also get to understand then, so how did this affect you in terms of trusting this person, coming into your lives, involving them into your spaces and all those things, and then they get to swindle you. And then how are you doing right now? So, Rose, for you, 500,000, that was the first payment that you made to this guy, and then you also made another payment, and then on top of that, there's also another car that is involved.
Yes.
Yeah. What happened? Second payment and the car?
For me, I lost the money in batches. The first one was the 500,000, which he borrowed, which I gave him the cash. And then from there now, it became 300,000 here, give me 100,000 here, give me 200,000 here. So in total, I lost up to 1.2. The 500 is the cash that I had. Yes. The rest of the money, I had to go to an institution to borrow. And he knew, because I remember him calling me at work and telling me, I know you're in this organization. You're able to borrow money.
Access money.
Yeah, you can be able to access money. Just get some funding. I'll be able to pay back. And
he's not even paid the first one.
No, he hasn't paid the first one, but because you're also aware that, okay, you haven't been paid, so when you get paid, you're just going to clear the whole amount at once. And I did ask about the contract for the tender he was doing, but I was also given an excuse of the contract is with my sister, so I do not have it with me. Okay. So I thought, okay, your sister is in Kisii, we can't travel all the way there to get
just
a contract.
Get a contract.
Because I had other friends in that institution that he was supplying. And I could just call up and ask what's happening with this payment. But he also didn't want me to do that. So just the 300 here, 200 here, amounted to 1.2. Yes. So you're in debt. Also, losing the vehicle was also another tender that he came into. Yeah. Where now, at that point, I remember by the time I had taken the debt to get to 1.2, I also quit my job from where I was working.
Okay.
I had the job at that point was not satisfying me as much. He also knew that. He optimized on that and told me, I don't think you should continue working there. He kept encouraging me and telling me, I need you to quit because running this other timber business of ours, looking at the math, you'll be making much more money in this business. And looking at the math, you could make sense of it and say, yeah, it's true. Yeah. I'd be making much more if I quit. So at the time, I had already quit my job. Now with the vehicle, he came into another business deal. Yeah. So with the business deal, he told me, I need you to help me get like 200,000. Now with this 200,000, I did have it. I don't have a job. So, and the business that I had at that time I was in the matatu industry too. So with that business, he knew how troublesome it is, especially for a single lady running a matatu. It's hectic.
It's crazy,
So he knew how the drivers on Nakusumbua Leo, tumegonga antelope, tumefanya so with that he told me like instead of doing this, let me take this off your hands, let me have it. It's going to be ferrying my employees from the farm to where I'll just have remodel it, and then it's going to help me, and then I'll be paying you this amount every month. We added it to the agreement. I handed over the matatu
contract.
to him. Yes, in that contract. I handed over the matatu to him. He went with it to Bomet. But then now when he came back, he's like, I need to do this deal that I've gotten, 200,000. 200,000, I don't have it right now. So he comes up with this really bright idea at the time. There are these money lenders in town, the Shylocks, you know them. These people, their interest rates are crazy. But he also told me, this amount, I'll just clear within a month. Within a month, I'm done. So with that surety, with the surety of the deal coming in, we went with him to this. He actually had a person in that institution. There was somebody to facilitate
They
and make it easier.
People everywhere.
Yes, make it easier for us get the paperwork through. So he did. The guy brought the forms. I filled the forms because the logbook is in my name. I hand it over. We get the 200,000. I give him the 200,000. So with the 200,000, remember the car is already in Bomet. We've taken a loan of 200,000 from the Shylocks. He's to repay within a month. First month goes by. Because with these guys, you have to give them post-dated checks. So I did give them from my account. So the deal was, you're going to be depositing this amount into my account so the checks can clear. Remember, I do not have any other income coming in. The matatu, you have it. Job,
so
I do not have
he had
it.
everything that
he
belonged
had everything.
to you.
Yes. So with that, the matatu, we took the 200,000 first month. Check doesn't clear because there's no funds in the account. Second month, check doesn't clear. At that point, remember, you're even ashamed to tell your family. Because having the conversation now with my sister, she's like, it was just 200,000. You will have come to me, I would have given you the 200,000 you repaid, we get the log because you lost much more.
Exactly.
But then at that time, he's alienated you from actually your friends. I remember some of my friends were being called, no, these guys are leading you the wrong path. So most of them, I didn't want to discuss all these things that are happening in my private life. I'm like, let's just have,
it's us, we're building this thing. Oh, wow.
So third month, the third check doesn't clear. These guys, what do? They go to tow the car. Towed it, sold it.
Got their money back, and then that's it. That is how you lost it.
That's how I lost it.
So you lost everything.
Everything.
So at what point did you realize, hi, where, Apana, this is no, this is not it?
I think I realized it actually even before the matatu was sold, because even the matatu being towed, at that point, I was already like, you guys, if that is what is going to get you guys off my back, go ahead, get it.
Oh yeah,
because I also know,
all over.
I would also know it's already in the agreement. You owe me this. You owe me this, the matatu. So I'm thinking, if you're not going to pay, you're going to lose it, and you're the one who's going to pay me back this amount. But I remember when I had already quit my job, coming back home, of course I'm expecting my pension, and there's already talk in the house of this money we're expecting.
He is still with you.
He's still with me. So at that point, I'm thinking that now the red flags in my head, now they were working at that time.
Exactly. So
at that time they were working.
Yeah.
So with that, I remember I got the amount, but then what I did, I spoke to a family member, directed the whole amount to them. I just told them, out of this amount, at that time there's a project we were doing as a family. So I told her, out of this whole amount I've given you, the only amount I need is like 10K, maybe to take actually my nieces to lunch. So with that, I think he also came to a realization that he wasn't getting anything out of my pension.
Okay.
Yeah, but even me at that time already saw the red flags now, because no money is coming in. It's just promises after promises after promises. Yes.
Hey, okay. I'd want to know, so then, did you finally break up? What happened? But let's just get to Beatrice at some point, because Beatrice, this guy, you've spent a lot of money. The mom, asked you to stay with this guy, stayed with him for like a month, and then you dated the guy during this period?
Yeah,
or
during that period. Actually, the one who even kind of was like a catalyst to it was the mom, because now she's like, mtoto wangu anakupenda, you know, you guys can really make a great team since, you know, he's like your manager.
Yeah.
And then at the time I'm like, I don't like, you know, dating people who are not helping me.
Yes.
You know, when you're young, you're like,
we need to build each other.
Exactly. And you know, you're already working at that time.
Yeah.
And then you feel that even though they're not working out, then it's going to be okay. I think now, I think it was like 2 weeks, because I had already spent so much money. I remember he even asked me to get all the, you know, when you need to get a passport, because one of the deals I needed to have a passport, and I needed to have like 20,000 to give it to him so that it will be, you know, fast.
Yeah.
I remember my parents walitoa hizo documents zao na nyuki. They had to like bring them all the way. We even went to town. We went to Mombasa Road. He's getting into the bank, coming out. He's like, well, I didn't get some money, but wamesema by Monday. So we're even moving around, going around. One of the deals, Huda Monroe apparently took the deal from me. So, and then he even has like a lady who put the DP of Huda Monroe, so it would look like he's actually talking to Huda Monroe.
To the person. So where do you get all this money to just give him passports, certificate of good conduct? Because like you said earlier on, you had taken a loan to pay for the room when you were in Eldoret, right? So where do you get all this money to fund for all these things?
Yeah, he made me identify, and I don't know how to even call it. Like, I didn't know there was such loans, you know, companies giving loans, but he introduced me to so many of them, like Timiza, Tala, Branch. I didn't know about them, you know, at that time. I'm not aware. So he's like, ukienda hapo watakupatia. Then there was this, like, from Timiza, they gave me like 11,000 for the deposits and stuff like that. So it was money going, money going, money going. But when I started realizing, and then I was getting emotional, I was crying, I was depressed. And at the same time, I'm hosting like a morning show for 3 hours. You have to like fake the smile the whole time.
You have to be okay.
It was really tough. So I told him, you know, mimi si wewe niko na shida, mimi nakutrust, but hao watu wa hizo deal si wa trust. Like, I feel like there's something wrong. And then he's like, but then you're saying the truth. I also don't trust them anymore. But you see, my sister works with UNICEF. So in high school, I was #1 nationally for public speaking. So he's like, wanataka uandike speech. You know, how to deal with poverty in Africa. So I literally wrote the whole speech. I was supposed to perform in Italy alongside some other lady. So this UNICEF people, so this is another email from Sheikh Omar. You know, he had very many names, even from Citizen, from I think bahati sikupata NTV, but there was a guy.
Like emails coming in from this different places that you actually would trust.
Even from Diamond Platinums, nilikuwa niende nifanye kazi Wasafi, and wanaongea na mtu anaongea na hiyo accent ya Kitanzania, wajua, and then it's like you actually believe it. But when now I started doubting these guys, now he already had a backup plan of the sister working with UNICEF. And then they really frustrated me, and I'm like, I don't have the money to get the passport, because now he tells me that these guys were passport hawashiki simu, certificate of good conduct, huyu mtu sijui ako wapi. So it was crazy. A lot of things were happening all at the same time. And then now you're dating, you've gotten to that emotional part. So you're like, I'm going to be there for you. Even if these deals don't work out, it's okay. My sister is going to help you out. And then it's a fake sister also.
And it never happened. None of those deals ever happened.
None.
So at what point did you realize, you know what, this is it, I am out? Did you count your losses? Did you try to report? Did you just take any action?
Well, it was crazy, because the thing that actually made me realize was just getting away from him. Because now when you're living with him, he sees how you're reacting. When you get disappointed, he knows how to calm you down. He knows how to bring another deal in and out. But now we got a show in Kitale with the co-host I had a show with. So we were supposed to go to Kitale and host a show there. And they were supposed to give us some allowance money. But the previous day, the mom told me that I'll tell a fellow woman to send you some 70,000. So at least this, you can pay some of this bills and,
Debt,
you know,
yeah,
the debt.
because you've already accrued much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling comforted, but they even gave me a fake number saying that that's the woman who will call you tomorrow. So on the journey there, I'm like, okay, they've not given us our allowance fee. Let me just call this lady. So I asked if she's still sending the money or what. When I called, it's a lady. She's like, who are you? What are you talking about? So that time was with the chills.
Oh,
now
yes.
start getting in because I'm like, wait a minute. No, it can't be.
It can't be.
It can't be that it's just been a lie. Then when I told him, he got really mad. Why are you calling this lady? And I was like, it's not really that much of a big deal. I mean, hey, hello.
Yeah.
So I told myself that if this guy asks me for any other money, then I'll know this is not real.
Yeah.
So he told me that, oh, hata nimeongea na huyo madhe, atatuma sani yake kesho, ndio akulete hiyo pesa, atakudepositia. But nani anatuma fare kijana ende kwa bank? Mimi. I was like, okay, let me send this 200 one last time, and then if it fails,
you're holding on to hope.
And it actually failed because like kijana alitoroka na pesa. So I found out, and now what I did was, now I was already convinced that yes, this guy has been lying to me. So I called my dad. Now explaining to him that I've been staying with this guy, dating this guy. That was very difficult. I told my mom, but she understood. She was really sorry for me. But now telling my dad is because I knew he was the only one who would have told me something and advised me on what to do. So I talked to him. He's like, so he has been taking advantage of you. My dad was fuming. He was mad. So he told me, umetuacha tu na thao huku kwa nyumba, because they were sending me so much money to, you know, fund all these things. So he told me that he's going to be coming to Nairobi. Nikifika Nairobi from Kitale, I shouldn't go to the house first. I go to a friend's place so that he can come to the police station. Alafu sasa ndio story tumalize. But even during the journey, this guy still was looking for ways to get money. There's a time he told me he had bought for me a convertible, a yellow convertible, sijui na offshore account. So this convertible, Mudoni drama queen needed it for a music video, so I had to like send him 3,000 for the fuel or stuff. And then I was like, Sina do.
No.
Sina. And then he's like, oh, nakuanga na gari ya road shows. They want it for a campaign. They're paying 150. So tunahitaji 7,000. I'm like, nope.
Where is this guy now?
He's in my house at the time when he's texting me.
Okay.
So I came to find out alikuwa na ile dual WhatsApp. Like,
please tell me you chased him at some point, because what? Like,
so when my dad came, went to the police station and now found him in the house, just on the laptop, you know, probably just getting new ways to con me. But when I got there is when now we found him red-handed, still doing that. Tried to switch off the phone bio. But nikaambia dad, tutoe SIM card, tutaona conversations. Then ndio nikaona wenye walikuwa kinipigia, the fake mom, fake sisters, they were not the ones texting me. He was the one texting me when I was with him in the house. Because at that time, Christabel tells me, "Ko karibu na bro, ebu toka enda balcony nikwambie kitu." So it's like, yeye ndio ananiambia niende balcony and text like. So we found him, and you know, my dad was really angry, but that's how we now finally arrested him, and we saw all these fake emails.
All right. Okay. But of course, all this happening, of course, it affected you in a way, right?
Wow.
Time. Okay. I can see all of his powers fit, and just to really make it very, very short in terms of then, how did all this impact you? And then, of course, Bishop will just type out, you know, for us. How did this affect you, Rose? And did you ever get your money? When did you break up with this guy? You know? Did you ever get even like 1,000 shillings of your money back?
First of all, he broke up with me. One of the days he comes, that weekend, he comes over, tells me, I feel like it's not working out. I feel like I'm dragging your life down with so many debts. So I beg to leave. At that point, I think I had already reconciled my feelings. I knew like, it's not working out. So I was ready for the relationship to end. So I told him, that's okay, you just go. Just let me know how you're going to pay. You're going to pay my money. So that's how we separated. Has it affected me? Yes. It did affect me for a while. I remember I went into depression. It took the help of family and a few friends for me to actually recover. And another thing that it's done for me is you build up a wall. Somebody comes to talk to you before they even say, hey, You're like,
fraud.
Let's try it again. Somebody like, okay, maybe my approach was bad. You're like, no, I really don't want to get into it. So for me, from that relationship, I think, it's affected me in a way that I believe in love. I believe there's love. I believe you will get into love. You can find the right person. But at the same time, for me, I think I reconcile with the feelings like, not right now.
Not right now.
Not right now.
Okay. Did you make peace with the fact that sasa pesa ilienda tu hivyo, gari ilienda hivyo, this is my life now, let's build it from the ground up?
I've rebuilt my life. I'm doing much better. But at the same time, I thought the feelings that I thought that I had already let go. I think with the story as it comes out, that's when you come to a realization that I thought I had let go of this thing. I have not.
But really you haven't.
Yes. So he's yet to repay even 1,000 shillings. Yes.
Okay. But there's that conversation that, hey, my money, I need it.
I've never been in contact with him. For me personally, once I let go, I let go. I don't try to reach out.
Okay.
But from the time the story came out, he's gotten in touch with my lawyer.
Yes. Okay. Yes. All right. I pray that you get your money back, because that is a lot of money. And even aside from that, not even just the material aspect of it, but you see, trusting this person and inviting them into your space, trusting them with your space and everything that is about you, and then to getting to that point of disappointment, this person is actually a liar. They're not who they say they are. Again, of course, that will impact you in one way or the other. But Bishop, in terms of then doing our due diligence, like you said, as a people, make sure that at least do basic research, get to understand who this person is and all those things. Then how do you get to that point of forgiving yourself? Because I'm pretty sure, again, we were discussing this, Rose and Beatrice, they were like, there's stigma, there's shame, there's, all those things, because how could I let myself get to this point, right? So what's done is done, right? Like you said earlier on, chuko yo kama tuition fee. But how do you get to that point of just forgiving yourself?
Yesterday I had a very interesting mentorship class. And during the mentorship class, I was just playing for young guys, and one of the young men came and said, you know what, we were going for, he's in politics, and he said, he went to a witch doctor, and they were given powers. And given powers, he said something now in this line. He said also with that, any woman he would want to get, he would get. So this brings us to the point that man is not just body and soul, but we are spirit with a soul and a body. So these things are spiritual. Most of these people who are duping women are people who have demonic powers. They have satanic powers. Because a normal person, you cannot go through all that journey, roller coaster like that. So there are powers you're dealing with. And so what really happens, and what we need to do, is we need to be in a great spiritual, where you are prayed up, your relationship with God, where you are strong, you are covered. We need our young people covered. We need our sisters covered. Because some of these people, what they do, they go to these witches and all these other kind of things. So when he's meeting you in the street, he catches you. I mean, there are people even in the streets today, they greet you.
Oh, yeah.
You go to the bank.
You realize you do not have money in your account.
You see. So, and that's what is happening. So we need that spiritual attention. But on the forgiveness, you need help. You just need help. You need help. You need prayer. You need to see a mentor. You need to see a pastor who can pray with you, and that healing to take place.
All right. And just find a way to get help so that you get over it, because like Ross said, and I'm pretty sure bitches as well, went through the same in terms of stay out, fraud a lot, right? And just again getting to that point of finding yourself again, and then heal, from the same, so that you're able to move forward. So I think that is where we have to say goodbye. But thank you very much. I know time, but we have to say goodbye right now. Beatrice Watari, Githinji, media personality, Rose Kemunto, finance analyst and a content creator, as well as Bishop James Minor. It's been an amazing conversation. Thank you very much, ladies, for sharing your story. And we hope that you've helped so many people out there who were about or someone feel that they have been swindled in one way or the other and blinded by love. I hope that you've learned a lot from today's show. My name is Winnie Lumembe. Your feedback is a lot. We cannot go through all of them because, time. But we say thank you. Keep the conversation going. That is on Twitter. That is on our socials. That is at NTV Kenya, at Lumembe_Winnie. But have yourselves a lovely day ahead. And until next time, stay safe.